From devastating severe weather to now snow and a whole lot of rain, we've got a lot to talk about going into our Sunday evening. Hi, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Justus, giving you early warning of reliable forecast and a direct approach you won't find anywhere else. It has been a day across the area. Check out this video from parts of Tennessee. Just a devastating tornado that caused a tremendous amount of damage and unfortunately loss of life here. This near Clarksville, Tennessee. And then there was another one yesterday, very close to downtown Nashville, that hit some kind of oil or gas line, and there was a huge explosion. Just devastating tornadoes. And unfortunately, this is what you get in an El Nino year. You get storms that come that have deep low pressure, a lot of twisting and turning of winds in the atmosphere, and that gives you volatile weather. And in fact, when we take a look at the Storm Prediction Center storm reports, there were 25 reports of tornadoes yesterday from Tennessee to Alabama to Mississippi, with about 56 wind damage reports and 73 reports of hail. So it's been a day of severe weather, and so far it hasn't ended. This morning, in parts of Alabama, into South Georgia, into the panhandle of Florida, at least 3 reports of tornadoes, 6 reports of wind damage. And it's not going to stop. We're going to see another volatile evening take shape across the area that's going to include hazardous weather in the form of snow, in the form of additional severe weather threats. Looking at the National Weather Service alerts, you've got severe weather concerns toward Florida here, basically Panama City east through Tallahassee, just north of Alabama, or north of Orlando, under a severe thunderstorm watch right now. You've got a tornado warning near Raleigh-Durham right now. And in addition to that, you've got winter weather advisories in North Carolina up through Snowshoe, where there's winter storm warnings. Then you get up here into parts of northern Vermont, into New York, into parts of New Hampshire. There are winter storm warnings ahead of a lot of snow heading our way later tonight. Let's show you how it all unfolds, because there's a lot to unpack here as we move forward. Let me advance the model here for you and just show you where we're going, because there's been a lot of rain, and that rain's going to continue for areas like Greenville, Asheville, Charlotte into Atlanta. But look what happens later tonight as this rain continues to be heavy at times through 6, 7 o'clock. By about 8 o'clock, you're starting to see snow break out in Asheville and Hendersonville up through Boone, into Snowshoe, right up the Appalachian Mountains, into parts of Pennsylvania, into New York. That snow breaks out tonight. Here we are at 9 p.m. It's just pouring snow, Asheville northbound. So it's a short duration event for the North Carolina mountains, but a longer duration event for Virginia, West Virginia, into New York, Pennsylvania, where that snow is just pounding areas like New Hampshire, Vermont, into New York. It's going to snow into tomorrow morning. This would be 4 a.m. It's really just pouring snow. Really I-95 westbound. So how much can we expect? What are we talking about here? Well, it's a quick hit for North Carolina, a quick 1 to 3 inches in Asheville northbound. I think ski country like Boone, Beach Mountain, Sugar Mountain will get closer to 4 inches. You get towards Snowshoe, more like 7, 8, 9 inches. And then you get up here toward New England, into the northeast, we're talking 12 to 14 inches of big-time snow. Some lake effect component to this, but this is more just this deep low pressure coming in and just spilling some moisture into some cold air, of which I expect it to happen many more times this winter. How about rain? We've had quite a bit of rain in the southeast, so needed to help out with wildfire concerns and the drought that has plagued many areas. We could pick up another half an inch to an inch, and this brings storm totals since yesterday to 2 to 3 inches in many locations like Greenville, Anderson, Greenwood, Charlotte, Atlanta, up through the mountains of western North Carolina. In addition to the snow, many of you are getting rain up toward New England and New Hampshire, up through the northeast. It's just 3 inches of rain before it's all said and done, in addition to some wet snow in the higher elevations. And this is not the only system we're going to see. Let me advance out this work week here for you as you make your plans. Look at the snow hitting hard and heavy this evening, and it's gone for North Carolina, continuing up the I-95 corridor. But check this out. We dry things out Monday. We're dry Tuesday. We're dry Wednesday, and then comes another deepening low pressure. This would be Friday, Saturday's time frame. Got some rain in Florida. Saturday into Sunday, here goes that dip. You see that low pressure right here over Tennessee. This will spawn additional thunderstorm chances in Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia. It's a deep low pressure. You got that twisting and turning of the winds, and you've got moisture coming straight out of the Gulf of Mexico, spilling into the Carolinas. This would be Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, just getting poured on right here, to where this deepening low pressure could spawn a surface low off the coast of the Carolinas, Miller A, Miller B type situation. If it were a month later, this would be very interesting for us in the western Carolinas with regard to snow, but it's just not cold enough yet. But nonetheless, a surface low does develop, and you get a 1,005 millibar low over Georgia, a 993 low over eastern North Carolina. Typical classic El Nino shenanigans here. This continues up the East Coast as a deepening low pressure, 989 right there. This is producing heavy wind. It's producing a lot of rain. And on the backside of it, as cold air begins to punch in, here's snow. Yeah, same time frame. Next Monday. So back-to-back snows for the mountains of North Carolina going into a week's time frame. This would be December 18th, next Monday. All right, here we are. That moves up the spine of the Appalachian Mountains, where additional snow for interior parts of New York into Pennsylvania. And then New Hampshire, parts of Vermont into Maine, getting some snow going into next Tuesday. So back-to-back, almost identical deep low pressure systems, and unfortunately with severe risks as well. This pushes in, colder air moves in, same old pattern repeats itself. This gets us deep into la-la land here with GFS European models, but nonetheless, I want to show you some signals we're seeing toward Christmas. This would be 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Believe it or not, this is actually in our wheelhouse of model data. It looks like we continue with this active pattern. And again, if we're looking at the pattern here, we're looking at Saturday, Sunday storms. This would be Christmas Eve. If we continue this 6 to 7 day time frame of getting storms our way, we could have a Christmas Eve rainmaker, or too early to say because I don't know temperature profiles yet, just impossible to tell you. But if we're looking at pattern recognition, we have an active pattern. We're going to be wet nearly every 6 to 10 days. So that would put Christmas time, 23rd, 24th, 25th, being wet across the East Coast. It's just a matter of will it be cold. This particular run of the GFS model, which is like picking one of a number of different tools in my toolbox to look at, shows rain for a lot of the East Coast near Christmas. But we know that as we get closer, we'll have to iron out temperature profiles to tell you if it's going to be cold. Let's look at the ensembles. What do 51 different varieties of the ensembles show for snow forecasting? I'm always looking out for snow for you here in the wintertime, just like I do for severe weather in the spring and hurricanes in the summer. But right now for GSP, Greenville, South Carolina, one model of 51 shows snow on the 21st, and it's 1/10 of an inch. So not looking at snow in the Greenville area. Asheville, you've got nearly all 51 runs on the model showing you'll get anywhere from a dusting to an inch tonight. And then there's another signal here toward next week. Again, back-to-back weekly systems. You got 51 showing snow. You've got probably 8 or 9 out of 51. So it's a signal this far out, being 8 days out, of getting snow again next Monday. Certainly higher than Asheville could. Boone, Grandfather Mountain, Beech Mountain, Sugar Mountain. All right. How about New York City? Big time spot to go to this time of the year. Looking for white stuff flying around, not this go around, but in the higher elevations and further west, certainly some snow tonight into tomorrow. But as we look toward the 20th and 21st, there are some signals here from our European model at getting some white stuff flying around New York, and could be measurable snow, 3-4 inches. Temperature profiles moving forward. The latest outlook from the National Weather Service shows December 17th through the 23rd looking to be above average. So there's a better chance of us being wet and warm, so therefore liquid precipitation during that time frame. But there's an interesting signal here toward the end of the month that we could start to cool down. This would be the outlook for the 3rd and 4th weeks out, which would be the last week of December and first week of January. We could be a tad below normal in the southeast, which again is everything. Looking at the new model for the NAO, the North Atlantic Oscillation, we are severely positive over the next week, which tends to lead to ridging in the East Coast, and active but possibly warmer patterns. And there's a dip here toward the 21st, but it never really truly goes negative yet. So we're kind of hanging out neutral or positive here, which means, we could certainly see active weather, but not necessarily cold and active weather. So we'll keep you posted around the clock here, but El Nino this winter playing out almost like we expected it to. Lots of opportunities for wet weather, and I'm talking big time wet weather. 1, 2, 3 inches of liquid, we'll leave it at that, coming our way every 6 to 10 days. So what does that mean for wintertime? Well, if you've got these big monstrosities of low pressures coming in that have a lot of ability to bring in moisture from the Gulf, from the Atlantic, which is still sitting above normal, that throws that back into cold air, which inevitably will be there at some point. You could have the recipe for eventually some snow. So that's the way things are shaping up right now. Kind of we'll keep hitting these models every 3 days or so, and I'll keep you posted as things begin to get a little bit more interesting, as we say in the weather world. Looking out for snow, especially around Christmas. Hope everybody has a good day, and my prayers go out to everybody impacted by severe weather across the eastern United States, from Tennessee to Alabama to Florida. It has been a rough day for many. You guys stay safe out there.